Long before humankind ventured beyond the invisible boundaries of their home system, legend spoke of a wondrous creature that roamed the vast cosmic seas. They called it the Golden Ram, said to possess a fleece made of stardust and living gold. Such a trophy, so the ancients believed, would grant its holder immense power and eternal renown. Yet for centuries it remained a myth, a rumor heard in the static-laden transmissions of old star tales. Few believed this elusive wonder to be real. Yet, under the leadership of a bold captain and a crew of resourceful dreamers, a new band of Argonauts set out to chase the legend across the galaxies, determined to seize the Golden Fleece. Jason had assembled his crew on the orbital docks of Eon Station, a place infamous for opportunity and peril. It floated at the edge of known space, where half the station's corridors were bathed in the harsh glow of tungsten lights, and the other half lay in the flickering darkness of neglected service passages. Here deals were struck among stardrifters, explorers, and outcasts, those who would go anywhere, do anything, for the right price, or the thrill of a legendary quest. It was not surprising that Jason found his Argonauts in the station's many taverns and hangars, each an individual as varied and extraordinary as the corners of the cosmos they hailed from. At the heart of Eon Station loomed a newly built starship, christened the Argo for the expedition. Sleek and silver, with cobalt fins and advanced warp engines, its hull displayed reliefs of winged centaurs and lightning bolts. Some said it was an overblown tribute to old mythologies. Others insisted these carvings channeled ancient blessings, that the spirits of cosmic guardians might smile upon their journey. Jason simply smiled at every rumor, preferring to let others wonder. Deep down, he believed the Argo's aura of legend could inspire his crew, and, perhaps, ward off the ill fates that lurked in the cosmic void. The Argonauts trickled aboard in small groups. First came Atalanta, renowned for her unmatched agility and her uncanny ability to pilot starfighters through asteroid belts at speeds that would overwhelm any lesser navigator. She carried a slender rifle on her back, the Mistral, a long-range energy weapon rumored to be keyed to her unique biosignature alone. Next came Castor and Pollux, twin engineering prodigies who had grown up within a labyrinthine salvage yard, orbiting a shattered planet. They boasted that no device was too arcane for them to repair, no star-driven engine too ancient to decipher. With them arrived Heracles, a hulking ex-military specialist clad in an outdated exosuit, his eyes reflecting the steady calm of someone who trusted in brute strength as much as technology. Then Orpheus, the cosmic minstrel, boarded the ship. Rumor had it that Orpheus's voice and lute could soothe not just human hearts, but the electromagnetic pulses of spiraling quasars themselves. Last aboard was Jason, greeting each new arrival with warm smiles and handshakes. The captain carried an aura of confidence and quiet excitement. Gold, red, and sapphire ribbons marked the shoulders of his sleek flight jacket, mementos from a past expedition that had saved an entire colony from asteroid bombardment. Leading them all aboard, he took the command seat without fanfare, runic-like text glinting across the control panels as the Argo initialized. The hum of the ship's engine reverberated like an orchestral overture. The docking clamps unlatched with a soft clang, and, without further ceremony, they propelled themselves into the uncharted darkness. Not long into the flight, Orpheus locked himself in the ship's small but cozy gallery, plucking strings on his cosmic lute and humming an ancient tune. He claimed that the music connected him to the universe's hidden harmonies, and that some faint thread of it might guide them toward the Golden Ram. Atalanta rolled her eyes whenever Orpheus broke into melody, but Jason often lingered quietly, listening. There was a lullaby-like calm in Orpheus's songs, one that conjured starlight and drifting clouds of cosmic dust. For all their cynicism, even Castor and Pollux occasionally snuck near the gallery door to overhear the mesmerizing chord. Their first real obstacle appeared at the fringe of the Orion Nebula, where ionic storms made navigation nearly impossible. The swirling pastel hues were as gorgeous as they were treacherous. Neon pinks and purples shimmered amid arcs of lightning that could disable an unshielded starship in seconds. Atalanta took the helm, eyes narrowed in concentration. The Argonauts strapped themselves into crash harnesses, bracing for a violent, lurching passage. Though the Argo boasted advanced shielding, this nebula tested every system to its breaking point. At certain intervals, flickers of cosmic lightning slapped the hull, causing the ship to rattle with the might of 1,000 storms. Heracles leapt from station to station, making sure the hull integrity readouts stayed in the green. With sweat beading on his forehead, he spoke to Castor and Pollux, who rushed to prime the energy shields, pouring extra power from the life support reserves into the thrusters and barrier generators. Jason felt the swirl of tension in the air. They all knew that a single miscalculation could turn this bold quest into a tragedy, yet Atalanta's reflexes proved equal to the challenge. She guided the Argo through the swirling vortexes, timing each barrel roll and weave through arcs of lightning with ungodly precision. Beyond the storm, the nebula opened into a calm, star-studded expanse of space. The ship soared onward unscathed, the breathtaking emptiness stretching before them like a promise of wonders yet to be discovered. Days passed in a dream of star charts and whispered stories of the Golden Ram. They had gleaned a clue from the Orion Nebula. Sensors had picked up traces of an unusual energy signature, bronze and gold in hue, that matched the old myths of a cosmic pelt with powers yet unrevealed. This signature trailed off toward the Helios Rift, a region rumored to bend time and space around luminous black suns. If the Golden Ram had passed there, it was possible it had found a refuge among these bizarre phenomena. The Argonauts set a course, bracing for another perilous journey. The Helios Rift lived up to its foreboding reputation. Jason and his crew stared in awe at the chaotic dance of bright singularities and swirling energy wells. The black suns radiated not light, but a negative luminosity that seemed to devour the surrounding starlight. Kaleidoscopic ribbons of cosmic matter spiraled around them, and the Argo's instruments went haywire as gravity warped unpredictably. To the eyes, it was both enthralling and terrifying. Halos of stardust flickered, drawn tight around the black suns before being consumed altogether. Within this labyrinth, the Argonauts searched for any hint of the Golden Ram. Orpheus claimed he could hear faint echoes of something that shifted through the cosmic medium, like the notes of a half-forgotten melody. He played a series of chords, letting the instrument's frequencies resonate through the ship's scanners. Pollux calibrated the sensors to pick up on these harmonic fluctuations, and at last they detected a faint flicker in the vacuum, a swirl of golden light swooping between gravitational eddies. The crew hurried. Atalanta guided the Argo toward that glimmer, which rippled with an unearthly brilliance amid the swirling darkness. The closer they drew, the more it seemed like a dazzling figure made of starfire, and they saw it clearly. An immense cosmic ram, each strand of its fleece seeming wrought from fluid starlight, more radiant than any star. It leaped from one gravitational eddy to another with impossible grace, as if each singularity and rift was but stepping stones in an endless pasture. For seconds the Argonauts could only stare, hypnotized by the sight they had sought for so long. But in that same moment came the thunder of collision warnings. The gravitational currents around the black suns shifted, tangling in a sudden solar flare that spat forth from the surrounding anomalies. Atalanta wrestled the controls, the Argo's hull squealing in protest. The cosmic ram, sensing the disturbance, took flight, bounding through a tear in the space-time continuum that flashed a piercing gold. Without pause, Jason shouted for the twin engineers to push the engines to their maximum warp. The Argo shot forward, tailing the ram into the unknown. They burst through the tear into a strange quadrant that glowed with an eerie emerald hue. Their star charts had no record of this place, but the Golden Ram's energy signature lingered in dazzling arcs across the sensors. As the Argo adjusted to the local anomalies, a distant planet shimmered into view, trailing a luminous ring. Jason decided that the Argonauts would have to land and search for fresh clues, hoping the ram had found a resting place or left behind an energy residue. Descent onto this unnamed planet presented new challenges. Electromagnetic pulses from the ring occasionally flared, making the autopilot useless and forcing manual control. Atalanta deftly piloted the Argo through swirling debris, landing by a crystalline structure that rose like a monolith from the turquoise sands. The planet's atmosphere was breathable, though faint, so the Argonauts donned light environment suits and went exploring. The crystalline monolith hummed softly under the brilliance of 3 overhead suns that tinted the sky purple, amber, and teal. A hush settled over the group. Something about that hum felt alive. Pollux used a handheld scanner, reading high levels of cosmic radiation that matched the golden ram's signature. Orpheus ran a gloved hand across the crystalline surface. He played a gentle chord on his lute, softly singing a melody of greeting. Much to everyone's surprise, the crystals resonated, as if responding in kind, the entire monolith throbbing with a warm, golden glow. Suddenly, an abstract shape emerged from within the structure, shimmering like a hologram. It took the form of a figure clad in swirling robes of starlight, eyes shining with the same luminescence as the ram's fleece. Jason stepped forward, uncertain but determined. The figure spoke in a sonorous voice that bypassed the Argonauts' translation modules and touched directly upon their minds. Its words carried the weight of centuries, a sense of ancient guardianship. "We are the keepers of the celestial path," the figure said. "The creature you seek is beyond mortal ken, a herald of cosmic cycles. If you desire to hold the golden fleece, you must prove your worth and intention. Know that the treasure you pursue is not mere gold, but a living bond with the cosmos. Only those who respect creation's balance may claim it." Jason nodded, adopting a careful humility. "We seek the golden fleece to bring prosperity and hope to all who dwell in our star systems. The myths say it can shield entire planets from destruction, heal ravaged ecologies. Even if we are not worthy, help us learn the path to become so." At these words, the figure raised a luminous hand. The crystals trembled, revealing a hidden gateway. A corridor of flickering light extended. "Enter," the phantom intoned, "and pass the trials to prove your hearts free of greed and arrogance. Only then may you stand before the cosmic ram again." Determined, the Argonauts stepped through the portal into a realm sitting beyond normal perception. They found themselves separated from one another, each confronted by illusions drawn from their deepest anxieties. Atalanta faced the memory of a harrowing dogfight where she had tragically lost a friend, the guilt rattling her confidence. Castor and Pollux saw themselves failing to repair a critical life-saving mechanism, resulting in an entire colony's doom. Heracles battled an embodiment of his own violent impulses, questioning whether raw strength was a tool of salvation or destruction. Orpheus wandered a dark labyrinth, echoing with the faint voices of loved ones lost to the cosmos, testing his resolve to use song and compassion as a guiding light. Jason encountered a haunting vision aboard a drifting ghost ship, hearing whispers from a time he led a previous crew to near disaster. Each Argonaut was forced to confront the burdens of regret, fear, and self-doubt. Where lesser souls might have crumbled under the weight, the Argonauts steeled themselves with remembrance of their cause. Bit by bit, they overcame these personal trials, forging deeper empathy for one another and reaffirming the sincerity of their quests. As they conquered their illusions, the separate corridors converged on a single chamber, a dome translucent but shot through with cosmic energies. The Keeper's figure stood there, appearing more solid than before, as if fueled by the Argonauts' perseverance. With a sweeping motion of its hand, the swirling illusions vanished. The Argonauts stood reunited, some knees trembling from fatigue, but hearts alight with a sense of renewed purpose. "You have passed the first test," the Keeper declared. "Yet fear not. You have more to do. This final gate will reveal the path to the Golden Ram, Tread with humility or be consumed by your own ambition. A shimmering doorway opened in the chamber's center. Beyond it, the Argonauts glimpsed a vast cosmic field, dark yet teeming with swirling motes of stardust. Together they stepped through, shields up, hearts pounding, and found themselves drifting upon the threshold of a stellar labyrinth. Twisting coils of luminous dust formed corridors open to the vacuum, held together by unknown forces. Across these threads of starlight, they could see the ram bounding, leaving trails of golden sparks in its wake. The labyrinth shifted around it, as if the cosmic dust conspired to grant it safe passage while preventing outsiders from getting too close. Jason gave the command, and the Argo soared forward, weaving through the ephemeral walls of dust. The labyrinth's corridors expanded and collapsed unpredictably. Sometimes entire sections parted like curtains, revealing a wide-open route. Other times, closed loops forced them into sudden detours. The cosmic ram was always just within sight, its fleece like a cascading rainbow. With each leap it took, the labyrinth reconfigured anew, presenting 1,000 possible routes and illusions that threatened to strand them in the star-woven net. From his station, Pollux conducted frantic calculations of the labyrinth's topology, which changed minute by minute. Castor fed data into the Argo's navigational AI. Atalanta made split-second adjustments with unerring skill. Orpheus played a soft beckoning tune, hoping to guide the ram toward them. Bit by bit, the labyrinth revealed patterns. They discovered that responding to the cosmic dust's shifts with compassion and calm allowed them to move forward. Whenever Jason or Atalanta gave in to frustration, the labyrinth closed around them, nearly trapping the Argo in a coil of swirling star matter. When they regained composure, it opened once again. At last, they drew near. The golden ram stood on a shimmering dais at the labyrinth's heart, gazing at them with large liquid eyes. The Argonauts felt reverence wash over them. Now that they were face to face, the creature's cosmic grandeur seemed unfathomable. Starlight bled from its fleece in a soft golden haze, and its breath, condensing in the vacuum, formed miniature starglyphs. The Argonauts stepped onto the dais, hearts pounding, but minds oddly calm. Jason tried to speak, but no words emerged. The ram's eyes radiated more compassion than any mortal expression he had encountered. Somehow, the intangible warmth of it all told him the creature understood their intentions. It came closer, gracefully lowering its head. In awe, Jason laid a hand on the fleece, feeling the soft threads of living energy. The entire dais glowed brighter, as if the cosmos recognized the worthiness of this contact. In that moment, everything else fell away: the labyrinth, the keeper, the ship, time itself. Only a silent communion remained, a cosmic promise to protect life and spread hope across the starlit seas. When the light subsided, the ram turned, a single tuft of stardust fur, shining with a brilliance that felt almost liquid, hovered in the vacuum, drifting toward Jason. The rest of the Argonauts watched in hushed wonder. Gently, Jason cupped his hands, allowing the tuft to settle there. This was it. The key to the Golden Fleece's might. As soon as it touched his palms, it blossomed into a swirling mantle that wrapped around his arms and shoulders. Far from feeling heavy, it was lighter than air, humming with gentle power. A cosmic wind stirred. The ram sprang from the dais, bounding skyward in a cascade of luminous arcs. The Argonauts watched as it vanished into the labyrinth's star-laden walls. In its wake, the labyrinth began dissolving, stardust spiraling apart to reveal the normal vacuum of space. Where the labyrinth had been, the Argo now floated in open starfield, guided by the faint glow of the triple suns from the planet below. The Argonauts exchanged stunned looks. Jason caught his breath, examining the mantle that remained, feeling its living energy gently pulsate against his skin. They returned to their ship, hearts brimming. As the Argo soared back into the planet's atmosphere, the illusions parted, and the Keeper's crystalline monolith glowed in a final farewell. Over the comm, the Keeper's voice resonated one last time. Guard this gift well, for the cosmos will call upon you in times of great need. May your hearts remain steadfast, and your blades remain sheathed, until compassion fails. With that benediction, the planet's ring brightened, then subsided, leaving the Argonauts free to ascend. Once aboard, they gathered around Jason and the main deck. Heracles let out a long exhale, awe etched into his face. Orpheus gently touched the shimmering tuft on Jason's shoulder, playing a soft chord that complemented the cosmic hum of the Fleece. Atalanta spoke first, a rare humility in her voice. So that's it. We've found it. After all those storms, rifts, illusions, and labyrinths, it's ours. It's ours, Jason replied, the weight of the quest settling in. But it's also more than a trophy. We carry a responsibility now. Somewhere, a time may come when everything hangs in the balance. We must be ready to wield this gift to protect life and hope. In the days that followed, the Argonauts tested the new power in small ways. The Golden Fleece seemed able to revitalize the Argos systems with minimal energy drain, heal microfractures in the hull, and even generate a healing aura for living tissue. Hester marveled at its potential to stabilize entire ecosystems if scaled properly. Pollux speculated that, by synthesizing its cosmic threads, they could create protective barriers for entire colonies. Orpheus, meanwhile, practiced weaving the Fleece's resonances into his music, believing it could calm volatile starstorms or quell cosmic quakes. Each new discovery kindled a spark of optimism in them all. League by league, system by system, the Argonauts began their homeward journey. Each planet they passed, they offered help where they could, restoring a failing terraforming array, shoring up a starbase battered by meteors. Word spread like wildfire through subspace channels, whispers of the legendary Argonauts, who wielded a golden star-born mantle, able to heal and protect. Some hailed them as messiahs, others, lacking faith in the intangible wonders of the cosmos, dismissed them as cosmic tricksters. But the Argonauts pressed on, unshaken by rumor, determined to live up to their quest's legacy. Near the final stretch, as they drifted in the silent black approaching Eon Station, Jason gathered the crew. Their eyes shone with the unity born from a shared triumph. He thanked them for standing beside him, for trusting in myth and risk, for facing unimaginable peril. We carry a spark unlike any other now, he told them. My friends, I know this is just a beginning, not an end. The Golden Ram roams free, but it gave us the chance to be something greater than adventurers. It gave us a chance to be custodians of hope. They approached Aeon Station, much as they had left it, though the place now felt smaller and far less mysterious. A subdued hush fell over the docking area when the Argo landed. The station's inhabitants must have sensed something out of the ordinary. The Argonauts carried an aura of cosmic radiance that set them apart. One by one, they disembarked. Wordless onlookers ushered them through corridors tinted by fluorescent lights and swirling dust motes. The air seemed electric, brimming with potential, pregnant with the question, had the forbidden legend proved real? At the station's main concourse, officials, travelers, and traders gathered in a wide circle, curiosity burning in their eyes. Jason stepped forward and unfurled the mantle for them all to see. A hush swept the assembly. Some glimpsed the threads of shimmering energy and gasped. Others averted their eyes, overwhelmed by the sight. Orpheus played a gentle note, and the cosmic fleece shimmered in response, illuminating the concourse in soft gold. Jason spoke, his voice carrying a quiet resolve. This is the gift we sought across countless galaxies. Not a mere relic, but a vow to stand against the darkness and shield life wherever it may flourish. A tremor of awe ran through the onlookers. Then, as if prompted by an invisible signal, applause erupted, echoing through the station's corridors. Jason held the fleece high, letting the quiet hum of its power resonate. The Argonauts, standing in formation behind him, exchanged meaningful looks. They had become something greater than a band of traveling adventurers. They were guardians shaped by trial and guided by compassion. In the midst of the cheering, Heracles let out a boisterous laugh, sweeping first Castor and Pollux, then Atalanta into a hug. Orpheus bowed low, a hint of tears in his eyes. The onlookers began to crowd in, voices mingling in exclamations of wonder and relief. Jason took a moment to reflect on the intangible communion he shared with the cosmic ram. He knew that, somewhere beyond the rim of known space, that majestic being soared free. The tuft of fleece they carried was not a severed trophy, but a living extension of the ram's cosmic essence, a link bridging mortal hearts to the vast tapestry of stars. For an instant, his mind filled with the memory of bounding Starlight, that majestic shape dancing between singularities. The golden ram was as much a spirit of freedom as it was a keeper of cosmic harmony. In its generosity, it had chosen to share a piece of its essence. With that memory flickering behind his closed eyelids, Jason vowed again that he and his Argonauts would remain faithful stewards of this power, employing it only to heal, protect, and inspire. And so, their quest completed, the Argonauts found themselves at the threshold of a new chapter. News of their journey would travel at the speed of light, igniting the imaginations of countless explorers. The galaxies brimmed with civilizations that might need their help. Every world a potential beneficiary of the Fleece's protection. The Argonauts understood they would not rest, for the cosmic tapestry was infinite, and their responsibility loomed as grand as the constellations themselves. United by trials and triumphs, they walked through Aeon Station's corridors as heroes, but carried in their hearts the humility of those who had stood before the cosmos and bowed. They were Argonauts, no longer bound to small stories or ephemeral pursuits. They were keepers of a bigger dream, stewards of something immeasurable and transcendent. Their ship, the Argo, gleamed in its berth, seemingly pulsing with the same bright promise of a new age, an age that held, in every breath and beam of light, the tireless pursuit of wonder and the unwavering commitment to protect life's delicate spark wherever it glimmered. No matter how far they might travel in days to come, no matter how many adventures beckoned on the cosmic horizon, the Argonauts knew themselves changed. From that day forward, the star lanes would resound with the name of the ones who had tamed the golden ram's blessing and carried it into the corners of a universe yearning for hope. And in time, new legends would spring forth, tales of kindling stardust, of labyrinths parted by the resonance of a cosmic lute, and of a majestic ram bounding through galaxies with a shimmering fleece that lit the darkness. Through it all, one truth stood clear as starlight. They had set out as wanderers in search of myth, but they would live on as those who brought a measure of that mythic splendor back to the mortal realm.